Welcome ladies and gents to my review of the Unknown Players Battlegrounds Early Access. Before we get into this review, I just want to state that I know this is an early access title and not a finished product, and will more likely change in a substantial way before the full release. Within the review I will be referring to this game as Battlegrounds for the ease of terms, and I will be giving this review based upon the content within the early access game so far. In today's market, when the FPS genre has been done to death, we're looking for something fresh, something different and a bit unique to what has been done countless times before. Battlegrounds arrives on the scene with what appears to be from nowhere and takes the gaming world by storm, gaining a record amount of downloads and current players online from Steam. This game is fresh, and that is the key to selling point here. People want a new experience in the FPS genre, and this game delivers. This isn't your typical run and gun madness of Call of Duty or Battlefield, but a tactical stealth and thought-provoking game. Gameplay. I wasn't sure where to start with this because there's a whole lot to talk about within this review, but anyhow, here's the key points in which appeal to me and I think will appeal to people old and new to the genre of this game. Each match with Battlegrounds makes you think very hard about how you're going to play. Depending on the luck of the weapons you find and the attaching gear, you have to play very differently. The mad dash at the beginning of each game, with multiple people or squads landing in close proximity to each other, can be such a rush to find any kind of weapon to escape the crowd or survive the first few minutes and allow you to breathe and find some better quality weapons and gear. Finding a particular weapon can give you the slight advantage of a long range or close quarter battle. Once you have the weapons that the map has randomly provided you with, whatever they may be, you then have to further decide on: are you going to play aggressively and advance the enemy? Are you going to play tactically or on the defensive side? Are you going to cross open areas and fields to get to towns in the hope of finding good loot, but then potentially be a target for enemy players? Are you going to enter buildings in the hope of finding good loot, but then the same building could potentially harbour enemies or squads? You constantly have to weigh up the danger to loot potential everywhere you go. Whether or not to use a vehicle, are you willing to risk enemy players hearing you coming a mile off so that you can advance across the map quickly, or will you take the long route and remain silent to other players? These points within the game use your brain to try and outsmart and outwit the enemy players, which makes it so fun and appealing to so many people. For example, 1 minute you can quietly be running from cover to cover in hopes of getting to your next point, wherever that may be. Then the next second, an eruption of gunfire all around, echoing through the valley with the dirt kicking up next to you, can be a real heart clencher. There aren't many games that make me feel on edge, but damn, this one does, and it goes the extra mile too. When I'm the focus of heavy gunfire and I have no clue where it's coming from, my heart rate goes through the roof, and I make a quick dash to find any cover, while then trying to locate the enemy firing on me. The map on this game isn't your usual selection of different maps in different environments, but one giant map or island. This is by no means a bad thing. The map is so huge, with the game zone narrowing in each match, it feels like you're playing a different map every time, which keeps the game feeling very fresh. A town, a forest, a farm, river, bridge. It's like having lots of maps contained into one, which is a genius move on the part of the developers, in my opinion. Towards the end of the game, with all players and squads increasingly getting closer and closer, the gunfire starts to fly, as you are forced into each other's paths. This is when the skill and the know-how of your current gear comes into use. The ending game zone can sometimes be brutal, forcing you into open fields to duke it out between the last 15 to 20 players. Surviving to this point, to be surrounded by enemies in every direction, keeps me right on the edge of my seat, and my senses at maximum level. For me, this is one of the key defining points of this game, the addiction of surviving to the last few and seeing your hard work pay off from when you first spawned in with 100 people. Graphics. The graphics for this game have some to be desired, but it is not bad by any means. Playing in 1440p allows the vegetation, hills, buildings and other effects to look sharp. I've had my fair share of issues with the early access game, sometimes parachuting in to find textures or buildings have lagged when trying to load, and in a result my parachute being stuck or getting stuck into the floor. This has only happened a handful of times, and other than that I would say the overall look and graphics of this massive shooter is very good for the amount of players it supports, which hasn't been seen in a game of this scale until now. The weapons and gear look great, and all the parts can be seen with great detail, down to ejected shells and used and scrapped magazines. Sound. This game depends on its sound quality for the player to hear the enemy movements. Everything from the sound of the floorboards to running to wading through water and vehicles has a very distinct sound that can give your position away easily or allow you to hear the vital movements sounds of close enemies by trying to sneak up on you. A headset is a must to get the best sound quality and to give you the full immersion that you need to be able to play at your best level. Not playing this game with a good quality headset or set of speakers can fail on hearing enemy players in which can allow them to gain advantage by ambushing or sneaking up on you without you being able to hear their movements. Replay value. Due to the map being so large and the start of every game allowing you to parachute into any place of your choosing, will make each and every match unique, fresh, and feel like a whole new map. The game zones change every match also, allowing the ending game zone to change constantly, so you have to adapt to wherever it may be. This allows you to replay with a different experience every time and will keep you coming back for more. The weapons. Each and every weapon has a unique purpose. Rifles for long distance, SMGs and shotguns for short distance, and the assault weapons for mid-range engagements. These are perfectly set up for certain situations, but can become useless at others. For example, if you manage to find a shotgun and you're running across open ground, you won't be able to range anyone, but in a building having a CQB firefight, you gain the upper hand. Using the right weapons at the right time is what this game is all about. Also, this game, sheer luck that you happen to find a rifle with a massive scope, or maybe you only found a crowbar, but as long as you can utilise that weapon, you should be fine. The weapons feel fresh and realistic to their real counterparts, and finding the rarer ones in each game is part of the fun when you come across something you're really good with and increases your chance of survival. Classes. There is no class system within this game, just your character or avatar, which you gain battle points for by getting kills and surviving longer within matches. Once you gain a certain amount of these battle points, you can buy crates, which in turn gives you random cosmetic items, such as hats, gloves, masks and trousers. This is one of the FPS games that everybody has been waiting for, the revitalisation of gameplay, the tactical play, the teamwork needed to survive, combined with a random loot system and the proper utilisation of weapons you find to make it addictive play. Not knowing where you will land at the start of the game, what weapons you will find, and where the game zones will end is a truly exciting experience and keeps me wanting to come back to play more and more. I hope you have gained a good insight into some of the game's core mechanics within this video, but hey, this is merely my opinion. Take the points I've made with a grain of salt and decide for yourself. Have a good day guys, and thanks for watching.